A lot, obviously, to get to over the last, I would say, 24, 36, whatever number you want to put on there. Obviously, a lot has happened. LSU has fired Brian Kelly, and we'll dive into it all. We will get into all the nitty-gritty. How did we get here? Where are you at right now? Where do you go in the future? If you were in the stadium on Saturday night, maybe you're not surprised. Maybe you're not surprised by the actions of LSU on Sunday to let Brian Kelly go. That was as embarrassing of a loss as I can certainly remember. We were talking in studio here right before we hopped on, and there's been some moments where it's been tough. Tay mentioned when you lost to Troy there. I'm like, yeah, that one still is not as bad. I remember being on the sideline for the Texas Bowl where you had 39 scholarship players and you got a receiver playing quarterback. Although Chew Breeze went out there and was playing pretty well.
Respect.
It was still like,
Some respect behind his name.
This is pretty embarrassing. That Saturday night was the most embarrassing, I think, that I've ever been associated with. To have the lead, to give up the lead, to get punched in the mouth, and just have that game spiral, and then everything that happened after the game, and them, as you put it, Matt, basically dancing on your grave after the game.
They did.
That was all a step too far, and you knew something was going to happen.
Yeah, there's one thing about there's one way to get beat in a game, right? There's another way to kind of get embarrassed. And the second half, we got embarrassed the second half. And then they did. They danced on the grave. They dunked on you after the game. And the optics behind it certainly pissed a lot of LSU fans off. Yeah. A&M fans taking over the student section, them doing their Texas A&M, whatever, with Warham, whatever it is. And they sway back and forth. The quarterback talking about that they weren't nervous the entire time during the game. And they said, Death Valley was underwhelming. Yeah. Their coach saying it. The great Tommy Moffitt and them getting a revenge game and, which they should have, taken pictures on the Eye of the Tiger Lake. They turned Tiger Stadium into their home field. And if you're the man in charge, that falls on your shoulders.
Yeah.
It is your fault. So they had enough. Obviously, donors had enough. That was a big question, right? I mean, I don't know if anybody really thought that this type of move would be able to happen.
Yeah.
There's a dollar and cent. There's a business side of this. There's people that have to take money out of their pocket for this. And it's a lot of it. It's a lot of quiche.
Yeah.
And so it was this big question. Could it happen? Would it happen? Well, you just got embarrassed on your home field. You haven't been fun to watch leading up to this. The people were disgruntled. People were waiting for something. And then when that happens, the way it did, the antics on the sideline of, undressing your assistant coaches, yelling at play, like all that stuff, that none of it looked good, right?
Yeah.
And then people just said enough is enough. They got together. And of course, like this show, we're going to kind of break all that down. There's a lot of rumors. This might be a rumor show. Who knows what it is? We're going to present you with the facts that come out and that we do have. But, a lot of it's speculation. A lot of it's speculative right now. We don't know what we don't know at this point in time because everything is so fresh. But we do know that Brian Kelly has been relieved of his duties.
Yeah, and the last 2 years, and there's so many different ways that we're going to attack this today. And Tay said it, yeah, maybe at some point, maybe we get to the Saints. That performance, who cares at this point. But you got, the last 2 years, A&M has beaten you 66-13 in the second half. I'll say that again just for those that haven't heard that. 66 points for the Aggies to 13 by LSU in the second half. You've led them at halftime the last 2 years and lost because it was 66-13 in the second half. Those are things that can happen. Also, Matt talked about him yelling at the assistant coaches on the sideline. See, some of that don't get to see because I'm calling the game and I'm on the radio. I went back and I watched a TV copy this weekend. Of course, we watch a coach's copy. You don't see that on the coach's copy. It's
right.
all.
Yep.
So I went back and I kind of watched some of that. And some of the questions like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? How do you not know what you're doing? How do you not know how this is the outcome? Like that was troublesome to me. Again, like I don't get a chance to see this. And so because I'm either calling the game or I'm watching coach's tape, but when I see that and then it was my wife, she's like, that's kind of every game. I was like, every game? She's like, every game. Like that's troublesome. Like this is your team. You're the leader in charge. This is your offense coordinator. This is your defense coordinator. This is your special teams coordinator. You should know what's going to happen before it happens. Like when a play's called, like you should know the outcome because you know everything that's going on within the program.
Yeah, as a head coach, it's your job to be familiarized with every single intricate detail of every play call and understand what the concept is. So, like, we are certainly not lip readers, but it's pretty easy to read lips out there. And when you are continuously asking, what are we doing here? Why are we calling that? You can't call that in that situation. Like, you have the final say of everything. So that's why it was his head on the chopping block. I mean, he has the overall say of everything. But look, I mean, the antics on the sideline, it's a terrible look for not only your program, but let's talk about the individual players watching it too.
Yeah.
Like the individual players, of course, like there's like coaches are going to yell at players. Fine, whatever. There's a way to do it. There's a way not to do it. There's always needs to be mutual respect between that. But that's part of being a coach. You have to know what works for your players. You got to know there's a time and a place for everything. Yeah. But I don't know if I've really ever seen a head coach in the face of assistant coaches as much as I've seen it. Maybe if tempers flare every once in a while.
Yeah.
But usually they're getting after it on the headsets, like talking to each other on the headsets, and they're not making a display of it.
Yeah.
It was really obvious that it was what just happened. I don't know what just happened. I'm confused at why we did something or why we called something. I didn't step in to stop it. Now I need to go make sure that other person knows I'm blaming him for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he had the peripherals of saying I need to make sure everybody else knows it was somebody else's fault or what. But that's sure what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, Charles says inside the Bayou 4 chat, Saban yelled at coaches. Yeah, we're not talking about yelling at coaches. It's the what are we doing? Why are we doing this? It was also the things that were being said that we're talking about.
Yeah.
At least for me, viewing that, and it's what are we doing? We can't do that on third and whatever with no timeouts. Okay, well, and we'll get there. Trust me when I say we'll get there, the game breakdown of Texas A&M, because, again, what the hell. But, as soon as that comes in as the head coach, it's no. Because I know this offense as well as you do as well.
Yeah.
That's no, next.
Yeah. Yeah, Saban yells at his coaches, some.
But
more
when
it's
Saban would yell at his coaches too, it was for the individual on the field that messed up.
Right.
He would just yell at their position coach.
Right. It wasn't what are you doing? Don't call it. Let's call it what it is too. Some people can, if you do it naturally, you come off pretty all right. It looks natural. If you do it in a fake way, it comes off as a fake way. You're trying to make a statement. There's a way that some people are look cool when they use curse words. Some people just try too hard, right? It seems like this is one of those situations I'm going to yell because I'm trying to pass off blame here. Well, I guess the buck stopped here.
So there's going to be a lot of talk of what went wrong, and eventually we'll get to maybe what the future looks like. And I know, and look, this is
going to be a lot of speculation. I mean, this isn't
oh, for sure.
We don't know facts. We don't have facts. And like I said, it'll trickle in throughout the day. And we'll present them as they pop up. But a lot of it's just going to be speculative and kind of talking about what the next step is.
And look, this is how this works. There's going to be a lot of rumors. And I was telling y'all, at 9 a.m. yesterday, I had ESPN, Yahoo, On3, somebody from those
who's who.
And it was I was like, guys, I'm just trying to get ready for these 10U flag football playoff games. I'm trying to jump on the trampoline with my daughter. Can y'all let this rest? But that's how this works. And I only bring it up to say, over the next days and weeks, that's how it's going to work. And those guys are going to find it out. We'll have that information and we'll give it to you. So we'll talk about the future and we'll speculate on maybe which direction you go on here and more. And certainly in the first hour, it's more of what went wrong, what did not go right. And, the more that you start to peel back the layers and you start to look at, some of the conversation, a lot of the conversation has been, this isn't new. It's been over the last, 2.5 years is fit. And this doesn't fit and that doesn't fit. And I do I understand that part of the conversation, but like more than just like not a fit. He's not, this, that, and the other. The thing that as you peel back the layers is there wasn't the buy-in to what you have to do to be LSU and win national championships. So it's not necessarily about fit. Like that's not the conversation.
It's a subjective term. Like what does that mean? Like,
you don't have to.
People say you can't. No one can put a finger on it.
Right. You don't have to be somebody that graduated necessarily from LSU or from Louisiana, because we have seen others come here and buy in and love this place and endear themselves to the fans and give you every single thing that they had to make sure they didn't disappoint you. And that's one of the things that you didn't see here.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't and I'm not saying they didn't work hard, but you've got to fully give yourself over to a place and a job like this. Right. And like when you hear some of the things of going on vacation during bye weeks, it's like, okay, well, that's not how you do this. That's not what you can do. You can't do those things. Like when you
during like critical times.
During critical times, but I don't think ever. Like once July 15th hits, in the NFL, maybe it's a little bit later in college, maybe it's 2 weeks later. We go into the football facility, we shut the door, we lock it, and we hide the key. And then in December, we look for the key again, right? We can take a little breather.
Yeah.
and then we go right back in, and that's what it is. That's what it's all about. It's like everything you do from that time is focused on how do we make the LSU Tigers great. And like that's some of the things that you didn't see.
Yeah. And like it or not, when you decide to take a job like this, when you decide to take that contract, when you decide to take that amount of money to do that job, like that's your life at that point. Like you have to be all in. You got to be sold. And of course, like all we know is to talk about what we hear, right? And you go vacation on things. You talk about, there's rumors out there about not being in the office quite as much as we needed to be. But you talk about the fit. The fit thing has come up so much, and it's like such a glaring statement to me because you can't define what fit is. Obviously, it's not geological. It's not where you're from. It's not about anything.
Coach Saban, Coach Miles.
Yeah.
Those guys weren't.
Nobody who's gonna like besides Coach O. Like who you gonna find in the same state that's gonna be a head coach?
Yeah. When I think of what it takes to fit into this place, it's somebody like Jay Johnson. So Jay's from the West Coast, like that. He has no ties to Louisiana. But when Jay came here, and I've had conversations with Jay about this, like he wanted to be the Nick Saban of college baseball in his work ethic and what he gave to the program.
Yeah.
Like you can't drive by the box, and Alondra can back me up on this because she goes over there and works baseball. You can't go to that stadium and not beat Jay there, outlast Jay there, not see his car there. Like that's just the way that guy works. And I'm not saying it's the only way to do it, but Jay Johnson gives every ounce of everything he has to make the LSU Tigers great in baseball.
Yep.
And if they lose, Alondra, you'll back me up on this. If they lose, it's not because Jay didn't do everything he possibly could to have them prepared.
Yeah, 100% agreed. Like you said, he's from the West Coast, but he embodies what I feel it means to coach here at LSU. Like he's passionate about it. He works
it's the
hard.
thing he loves more than anything outside probably of his wife.
Right. I mean, you heard him that one time when we lost, I don't remember what series, And he was like, I was up till like 3 a.m. just staring at the moon, drinking orange juice.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, this man's psycho, but I love it.
Yeah.
Like, so yes.
I think the people of Louisiana, like when they talk about fit, they want somebody, for one, that's genuine. For two, that when they say something, they know that they mean it. And like it got with this Brian Kelly, or got off to a kind of a rocky start with that, right? With the, we laugh about it, but the fake accent and all the just kind of, it's like you can tell, like, when somebody is truly, truly bought in and in it and authentic with it. I think being authentic is the key word here.
Authenticity is what you're looking for.
Authenticity, it's a big word.
I saw you go for it.
But you ask, I'm asked all the time for years, and I asked other people, and I hear other people talking, and it's like, hey, what do you think about Brian Kelly? And it's like, I don't know. I think he's pretty good.
Don't really know him.
Don't really know him.
Yeah.
And so when you don't know that, like, the people of Louisiana, LSU fans, want somebody that is all in, bought in to the program, and then that can tell when that man speaks. It's like I know what's in his heart when he speaks. I don't know if we've ever known that.
Yeah.
I guess we kind of like have the writing on the wall now, but I mean, it's one of those things. Fit to me is being genuine to yourself and genuinely love and respect in the state of Louisiana and Louisiana State University. And, not to say that Brian didn't want to. The will was there. I know he gave his own money for, to put into NIL and do all this stuff. Like, I think the will was there. I don't know if the love or the authenticity was ever there. I don't know. That's all kind of speculation. It's all opinion. That's subjective. But when you ask people, hey, what do you think about Kelly? Like, I don't know. Well, I guess we got to wait and see. I don't know.
Right.
It wasn't ever like oh man, this was an awesome, like, so pumped up about it. It wasn't ever that. It was always, I don't know. And that's an issue when you're 3-4 years in it and you're still saying, I don't know.